Hello, welcome to the 5C Explores the World podcast. I'm your host, Andrew.
I'm your host, Nicola.
And I'm your host, Sebastian.
Today we will be debating which universities are the best. Is it Harvard?
Or is it Oxford?
We chose this topic because many people cannot decide which universities are the best. So today we will be ranking Harvard and Oxford based on pure status. We will be ranking them on their students' GPA on average, their classes, which will be broken up into 2 points, the location of the campus, and finally the acceptance rate.
Harvard is in Boston, Massachusetts. Boston has a crime rate of 1 in 38.
And Oxford is in London, England, which has a crime rate of 1 in 30.7, which means that Harvard will be taking the point for location.
Next, what is the GPA of these students? Oxford has an average GPA of 3.8, which is very good, but Harvard has an average GPA of 4 in an unweighted scale, which means it's out of 4.
So that's another point for Harvard.
Now, how many classes does each university offer? Oxford offers 48 classes, which range from humanities all the way to mathematics and medication.
But how many classes does Harvard offer? Harvard offers 50 undergraduate classes, which range from unique things like art and film all the way to applied mathematics.
Since Harvard has more options for classes, they will receive the point.
Now it is 3-0 Harvard.
Now, what is the hardest class at Oxford and Harvard? Well, arguably, Math 55 is Harvard's hardest class. It is also hard to get into. Math 55A peaked at 50 people. Math 55 is also regarded as the hardest class in the entire United States.
Now, what is the hardest class at Oxford? The hardest class at Oxford is Economics and Management. This class has recently given 90 places, even though a whopping 1,537 people applied that year. It is also regarded as the hardest class in Oxbridge.
While this round can go both ways, Math 55 has to take the point, as Economics and Management is only the hardest class at Oxbridge, not even the entire UK. Also, Math 55 is considered one of the best classes in the entire world. Also, many intelligent people like Bill Gates has taken the class. 4-0 Harvard.
Now, for the final point of our debate. Which university is harder to get into? Harvard has a killer acceptance rate of 3%. On top of that, Harvard is the hardest university to get into, which just shows the competitiveness of the schools.
And finally, Oxford has an acceptance rate of 17%, which is still competitive, but not near where is Harvard's 3%.
And with that, Harvard wins another round and wins 5-0. That means they will take the win and progress to the finals and versus the winner of Stanford versus Cambridge. Thank you for tuning in to the 5C Explores the World podcast. I'm your host, Andrew.
I'm your host, Nicola.
And I'm your host, Sebastian. Thank you for tuning in.
Goodbye.